Hey everybody in the chat. We've got about 6 or 7 minutes until we go live. I've got Mauricio connected. Mauricio, let's how you doing, man? Mauricio, hello? You can talk. I could hear him a second ago. Can't hear you now, Mauricio. I know he's been switching between a couple of different microphones, trying to find the best setup. Hello, Austin in the chat. Hey, Benjamin Spears or Tequila. Looking forward to the game. Got like 20 people joined already. Yeah, Mauricio, I don't know if you can test your mic. Okay, right. Well, hopefully we'll be ready in 5 minutes. And I will see you then. Hey, okay, so we've got Mauricio. He's got his microphone working now. Hey, Mauricio.
Oh, yeah. It's working?
Yeah, I think that was actually really loud, so I'm turning it down a little bit.
That's great. And I'm seeing someone asking what kind of footage are we going to see today. That's amazing. It's one of the most epic footage ever. Colombia against US. War game.
Yeah, the World Games, the group stage match. It's a legendary match. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. We'll be live in like 5 minutes.
That's great. Perfect.
I'm gonna run a quick Patreon advert for the viewers. So just check these out. The first one's like just a little guide for how to sign up. It's like follows my screen going through the sign up process. And then the next one is like telling you more about like what you get from it and stuff. So perfect time to sign up if you've got a few minutes now. And I'll see you in a few minutes.
Oh.
If you enjoy Felix Ultimate videos, then you can find bonus content at patreon.com/FelixUltimate. This is where you can see the best clips from live streams, get early access to upcoming YouTube analysis videos, see behind the scenes material, and even commission me to analyse footage of you playing. Patronage is the way I can continue doing what I'm doing, so if you value the work, please support it today. There's even a tier if you just want to watch more videos of my cat Rue, and we all know that's the real reason you're here. Okay, everybody, we're just turning everything on now on the stream. Shout out Andreas in the chat, Manuela, great to have you on the stream. Ivan, everybody, let's go live. All right, we got a new subscriber. Thank you, Carlos. Description. I wonder how many times we're going to hear that jingle today. Maybe I'll have to turn down the volume of it a little bit. Okay, brilliant. Right, let's go live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I am Felix from Felix Ultimate. I'm joined here today by a man who I would argue has maybe the best understanding of spirit of the game and of the mental game of Ultimate Frisbee. Is Colombian coach Mauricio Moore.
Hola, hola. Hello, Felix. How are you?
Hey, I'm very well.
Live.
Very well, Mauricio. How are you, Mauricio?
Pretty good. It's one of these times has been kind of tricky for everyone in terms of international participation, tournaments, and all of the stuff. But I think we're doing a good job with the team and the people in Colombia. We're having good time in sports.
Yeah, I've seen like doing like Zoom chats and Instagram things with just like screens and screens of people. Like the TEP stuff going on. I've seen there's been insane amounts of use of like, you know, Zoom and video apps and everything going on in Colombia.
Yeah, it's you know, at these times of quarantine, we have this thing in our, like, this concept called, I don't know how to say it in English, quarantine. That's the word, quarantine, which is
Yeah.
I use this 40 days every cycle of 40 days to, you know, do something beyond the normal, you know, the normal training. We have to do it. I mean, cannot be waiting until the world just go on. We have to move forward.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
No, good to hear. Good to hear. Well, we have okay. So for anyone who hasn't watched the stream before, we take our time on this stream. It's like an analysis thing rather than like a watch party. So you can expect probably like an hour and a half, even though we're going over just the second half because we only have the second half of this footage. So like maybe about an hour and a half. I'll play through, you know, until the stoppage, and then I'll rewind and we'll go over it again. And Mauricio will give some insight, and I'll do some like analysis of what I see. If you have any questions at all for myself or Mauricio, then please ask in the chat. Mauricio, you'll keep an eye on the chat and you'll interact with them, yeah?
Yes. I'm with the chat. I'm actually on through the account of Revolution, so see it.
Cool. All right. And then after the stream, for patrons, then we'll probably hang out in Discord and have a chat. So hopefully Mauricio won't be too tired by then, and he'll have time to chill out and yeah, just chat to whoever's around. If you want to become a patron, patreon.com/VetusUltimate. You can read all about it on there. Okay, let's get into the footage. So,
Ooh, that's great.
like this. There we go. Big old thumbnail. I was tempted to introduce you as the man with the greatest hat in Ultimate Frisbee.
Actually, that hat has a lot of stories. Know that I almost never give my hat to someone ever, like just like 2 times in my life. So it's pretty. Those hats have a lot of history.
Right.
And thank you. Actually, I want to thank you, Felix, because this is an incredible, huge opportunity to share to the world, not just the normal things that people see on the screen. Like usually people see, just the play and wow, what a layout. No, but this game and this particularly, actually, it's need to talk about this exactly moment you're on the screen because this is going to start like 57. So that's pretty close to the half. And as you can see, we're like ahead by 4, which is talk about like what we did previously in Colombia that we were going to talk about that like in a bit. And that play, not see what happened. People is happy and is giving chance to Choco, and no one's know what's going on.
Yeah.
The thing is, in the replay, you will see it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the best moment ever.
So this is the back right-hand corner from the camera of the field. And there it is, the Callahan.
Exactly. Can you just imagine we're in the 3 against US, the first game of the World Games, and we got a Callahan, and it's pretty casual and pretty important to see that the guy who made a Callahan is local. We're gonna see. This is the first play of a game. It's important to see it. Like the first game, not the game, the first play of a game, but it's the first play on the footage we're seeing.
Yeah,
and
it
like
just comes straight in.
We don't have, we cannot see before that because they started film that time. This is pretty important as a casuality. The last part of the.
I lost you there. What are you saying?
This it's pretty important to see that this is connected with the last part of the game also.
Right. So this is this the end of the first half to make it 7-3?
Exactly. Yeah, we got this Callahan. We go 8-3. What do they have? And you feel like, we made it. So that's what I'm saying. That brings us back.
Yeah.
Because first main big question we have to answer ourselves, and actually it recaps me to footage. Remember, you made a outing of our team in this channel, which is fantastic. How we did the stack. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I think you remember it.
Yeah. Spread all over the field, and I drew lines and circles between you. How you isolated 3 women on the far side, and they were kind of working in a triangle, kind of organically.
It's it's fantastic work you did with that footage. I didn't saw it until someone called to me. One of a player said like, "Hey, do you know there's this video of this guy?" I was like, "What happened?" It's amazing. Just watch it, and then I just get into it, and I remember this is like make me say that what you did in that footage is actually a really big main concept of how we build our system. Because as I said, all this game, if you see in it, you'll see it's hard to describe. Actually, I will say that was one of our tools, our powerful tools, beat that game. It's never realized what we were doing. And good thing, and I'm gonna say, is maybe neither our players. And then, I mean, some of them are on the chat, so they can confirm that is the big thing we need to talk about in terms of understand what's going on there, how we make the D and how we do the O. It's how we build kind of a system, like how those systems has been made, and how you easily, I will not say easily, maybe it takes some time to you, but how you finally describe how we play. That's a really big momentum. That 7-3. So that's 7-3.
So I described. I think if I remember correctly, I described the way that you played in that video as being kind of like dynamic and organic. So kind of taking what you were given at different situations, thinking a bit about isolating a few players, but kind of working with each other and using people when they were poached. So not to like a rigid kind of system. So is that what you were saying that the
And actually, I would say, touching a little bit the beautiful concept you have done about the hexagonal stack.
It's not a stack, but yeah.
I mean, I'm just hexagonal system. How you called it?
Just hex offense, I guess.
Okay, the hex offense. I would say it's we play like this will be a really good question, and I would say yes. The question is, did we knew that beforehand? No. So, and I'm pretty sure that you have been spending hours on the computer watching games, watching how teams play, and you have that idea of like how you can see things, explain it. They are literally visible. The teams didn't knew it. Like how can I? Yeah, exactly. Like how can I build a stack or a system, spread, whatever? And, that creation if I don't know it. So, what the question is like, we play that system? Yes. You discover, my friend. You get. I mean, you were more smart than most of the teams at the war games. I'm sorry. It's true. But I mean, they you had a time. The way you have a lot of time to watch it. But we didn't knew it. It's exactly this. So how we made it? It's a really good question. I remember we were talking before about how to build a system, how people feel, how to build a system.
Yeah.
I'm watching questions. There's a lot of people saying things. Yeah, Felix, how's your Spanish?
Yeah. My Spanish is not good, but hopefully you can. Ravi's Spanish is very good, clearly. Yeah. Okay. So just a little bit about the stuff that we've seen, just because I'm kind of going through it and I'm like lingering on bits because I'm seeing things that I want to kind of talk about. The Callahan here is just a miscommunication, right? Like Sandy Jorgensen catches the disc, she kind of pivots downfield but looks back at the dump, and then there's like a half fake here, like a little pump like that, and then the dump kind of stops, and then she chooses to throw, and you see their defender like hunting it. Yeah, they're like creeping in, waiting for the moment to strike, and then it's timed it so well that you know they can clap catch. So that is, I'd put that down to like miscommunication, and then on this offense here, kind of classic US beginning, and then they've got like a free person here, completely free, who doesn't get thrown to, like a little bit of pressure on the force, but then they end up then coming back, and there's a slashing, there's like a cut that comes like across the field after Jimmy McClass pass it then like further back into the end zone. So really good like one-to-one pressure, forcing USA backwards. A nice little throw and go move, trying to kind of get some momentum going downfield, and this is now in a power position right here. Decelerates into the catch, so he has total balance control once he's got it. But there's like a little delay, and there's actually some really good defense here. Maybe you can remind me the name.
The one who's guarding or stops is
yeah, with the dreadlocks.
That's Ford, Alexander Ford.
Yes. So
and switch.
Alexander Ford almost like sees this momentum and almost like goes with it, and then yeah, this like switch here, because you know he sees this player here, and so therefore like even though US were both USA players were free, because their paths crossed over, that meant that it was possible to switch, and so he does perfectly like to get in the position, which in the end something weird happens, right? Because he gets in that position, he nullifies that cut, so then he has to then change direction, and he ends up slipping, which gives the other defender who hasn't actually switched a chance to then come through with this awesome layout bid.
And if you see, yeah, exactly. I think one of them, even having this, say, big poach, you can see we are almost close to a D a lot of times. Like there with the Ceballos trying to get a D layout, and it was close to that defense.
Yeah, close. Close. It was probably a foul. It's probably a fair call.
Yeah, it's a foul. But it was what I'm saying is like there's still like even with this big space, there's still like pressure. It's because there were more subtle things on the concept of a D, more than like just the physical thing that people used to think about. It is about like positioning. So if you go back and then see again, you'll see that the people that we want to go out, we put them out. Like there's one play when the girls, I think, a search by Angie, she put her back. Started to put people back.
What do you mean by
Lisa,
that? By putting her back.
Okay, I got it. We try to force handlers to go out and cutters to get in. That's a simple concept on Ultimate. Right. That's why Sandy get into that. Like I'm talking about like the Callahan play. That's why Sandy, ended up like handling her normal position.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can see right here. You got is that I got the rosters here. So Sandy's there, and then Mosquera is like massively poaching deep, and so you see that amount of separation, just in like a normal situation on the field. There's no particular immediate deep threat.
Exactly.
And like Sandy's an incredible athlete and fantastic running down discs and laying out, and pretty solid all round. But definitely with the disc in her hands, not as comfortable as well, but like quite a few of the other players on USA. So you can see here, even though she has the plenty of separation, able to just ease up that space. But then Sandy ends up then going back towards the poach, and then Mosquera then is in like really good position here. Probably is responsible for the D happening because Jimmy's got a lot to think about.
But that's we won the disc there.
Yeah.
What like this guy have a disc is the best thrower in that team, so we don't want him to jag it. We prefer that throw having Mosquera in the back. Mosquera against guy, but at the same time it means a lot of occupy the space. No matter if the deep person is a girl or is a boy, it's going to occupy the space anyways.
It's going to what the space?
It's going to occupy the space. So it's going to be occupied. So then, we'll say maybe if it's just Ceballos and Mikel in that play, that will be more hard for Mikel to get the disc. But look, if you go a little bit back, you will see that Mikel comes to the position, but Mosquera is right there, so he has to go over Mosquera, and that's why Ceballos got a better perspective of the disc. Because if you can see it's going exactly in the direction, and he have to avoid Mosquera and goes around a little bit. That 20, you say, centimeters, I don't know what to say in English, centimeters, you see he have to go around, and that's Ceballos got the chance. So that thing is more like about the subtle things we're doing in terms of occupied spaces and the people to play where we want them to go to play, and not just like let them. That's pretty Japanese, by the way. Like, okay, you can get the disc, but if you don't have someone receive it, what you gonna do?
It's actually like perfect positioning from Mosquera here, because exactly as you said, like Mikel can no longer take this line, right, and he has to go around the back, and you see the result of that. Like, I mean, he could try and go in front, but Mosquera has adopted such an aggressive position that going in front is going to be, very difficult for him to actually get up to get the disc. So it's like perfect positioning, because then he has to go around the back. If he went in the front, you see, this would be up here, and there's no way of the disc coming down. So he's gone around the back. Hey, thank you for subscribing. And he goes up, and he had to be like exactly above where Mosquera was in order to get that disc.
Exactly.
So brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Awareness, positioning, and overall, like, it's kind of like strategy, but it's like a role-based approach to strategy, being like, right, this player likes to do this, so we're going to mark them this way, rather than considering every player to be equal and what the kind of core strategy is. So very much thinking about the roles and the players.
Yeah, actually about roles and the plays, it's exactly one of the. Okay, I'll just need to say that one of the main mysteries of this particular game, what we did as a success on the tap, was the system that we improve at some point of a game, and then you will see it. Well, actually, you don't found it, but it's pretty cool because it's a defensive system that is related to the geometric. So
geometric defensive system.
Yeah, you have an hex system concept for offense. So that's brilliant. And if you see the game, geometrics go like around every time. So that was the system we created. Like, I think it wasn't a timeout or a halftime Colombia, like in the final. So
Nice.
Hey, let's switch everything. It was like everyone like talking about let's switch everything. And in the middle of a final against US and Colombia, and then it works. So we tried a couple times.
It touches on what I was thinking about earlier when you were talking about your systems, and how my video was kind of like, you watched it being like, hey, I guess that's what we do. Is they, and you seem to build the players and the skills and the connections between all the players and also like the support and trust between players primarily, and then the system kind of evolves from that, like organically and naturally. And then when you're in the moment and you're in like a timeout in the final, as you say, then because you're all on the same page and you're also connected with the kind of system that you've all been part of creating, then, you know, changing it, bringing in something new, everyone's still in the same boat, right? So then everyone's still like pulling in the same direction. They'll still understand the new system in the same way if they've heard the same explanation of it. So everyone being just on the same page is an incredibly powerful thing.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you know, three war game team works, I don't know, in a year, like, you know, getting ready for that. And they can tell we never practice any system as a system. We never practice neither vertical, diagonal, or any kind of a release system as a system, you know, as a shape, as a form. Create concepts, and the concept build system, you know. It's a different perspective of how people understand the tactic, the strategy. So tactics and strategy, you know, just think about the war. Like, if you see, for example, Sun Tzu, or if you see Mahoma, or
what was the first one?
Sun Tzu.
Oh yeah, Art of War. Yeah.
Art of War. If you think about how they, like, or even Da Vinci, you know, who was a really smart tactic guy, how they like never were, you know, this concrete things. They were always to the subtle thing. They do like no one was thinking. So exactly same thing happens when you are going to have a really successful system. It's more important if you focus on the subtle thing. So I was saying we build concepts. You say, like, how are you going to make a whatever vertical, diagonal? It doesn't matter. Shape, factor, the shape of what you're doing. So we build a really big concept, trust concept, in terms of, not say everything, but but yeah, we create a lot of a concepts, how to move inside of a field, how to cut, where to cut, from where to where, like different questions, not just like step on it, step in the line, and the first person cut to the open side, the other cuts to the closed side. That's, you know, that's pretty simple to see it, you know. If we have a chance to talk about these fantastic games against Japan in Worlds at 2016, I don't remember, you were there. You were there.
I was filming.
Exactly,
I was camera too.
You were a camera. Okay, that's the main clue on that game. So it's even subtle things will create more concrete things. How we build this system? Okay, I'll tell you. You got one footage that no one ever has.
Mauricio, can I interrupt you?
100%.
The microphone is cutting out like quite a bit. Like, so I don't know. It's quite difficult to get every single word of what you're saying. I'm wondering whether it's worth testing, just switching the microphone over quickly again, or resetting it. I know that we had a few different settings before the stream. Are you able to quickly do that?
Is that better?
We'll have to see. Carry on saying what you're saying.
Better right now?
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
Okay, it looks like people on the YouTube say that it sounds good, but yeah. See what happens. You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect.
Sorry, if you can remember what you were in the middle of saying, then carry on.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I was just I was saying that it is actually pretty interesting that this is one of the parts that cuts. It's subtle things move the concrete things. So create a system, as you said, that a lot of trust each other. It's one of the main clues on team. But it's not just trust. You need to, create the basis. But those bases are not made on the concrete things. What I'm saying is, be easy to know how another team plays. If I don't know how many stacks you can create, like standards. You can make vertical, diagonal, Japanese,
split sides.
isolated. Like you can no more than 10. So if you have just that, it'll be pretty easy to what you're gonna do. So maybe we're gonna talk after a couple plays that some of those things you will see it on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, I think stack is almost like one entire type of offense. It's like space definition, space isolation, and similar kind of concepts apply to horizontal stack even, but horizontal brings kind of a bit more chaos to it, and so therefore players have a bit more freedom and ability to kind of make it up as they go along, which then goes towards hex and just like organic offenses or systems that are built on the players rather than on rules about getting people to stand in certain places and cut in certain orders. And I think when there's a spectrum of different like approaches to offense, and at one extreme end you've got the side stack with the like ordered cutting, and then at the other end you got like organic hex where you just or even less structured than hex, but hex is kind of like I think you talk about the similarities between the Colombian offense and hex, and if it's not the shape, the overall hex shape, then just the fact that you've got like spacing between players generally, and also that you move the disc quickly and take whatever you're given, and don't have like set handlers and set like spaces, then yeah, I think that those are the similarities. It's not necessarily in the overall structure. It's more just in the principles and the approach to the offense.
Yeah, I'm actually will say, and I want to answer this beautiful question from, we'll say, Joe Mama. I don't know. That's the way I can say it.
It's Joe Marmestein. It's Joe Marmestein, but yeah, Joe Mama.
Okay, Joe Mama. Okay, I want to say it right. And say to answer to Florian. Here we go. It is. I will say it is the hex concept. The thing is, people would say always, okay, if it's the hex, what happened? Did Felix teach to you that before? What happened? And I would say like, actually, it appears it happened because you use the concepts. Like you have those pretty solid concepts called organic and all of these things. Use that concept. Not even we neither meet each other at that time, and we use the same concepts, and it creates the same. It's unbelievable. And that's trying to get in close to the Mama question. It's more than just the chemistry, having like players, like having the same players every year. Actually, I need to say there's one guy around. It's not in this play. I'll show it later. Called Andre Ramirez. That's the nickname. And this guy was a U24. Like first time ever. Like he played one Worlds as a junior. I picked that for the World Games team, and then no one knows him. Like everyone's like, who's this guy? And what I'm saying is, it's more than people.
It's more than what
we're building. It's more than the people or the person. It's bigger than that. It's what we build with the people.
Yeah.
So so it's and just trying to connect with Florian, it more than because you're saying like if the system is built on trust between players, and a team doesn't require a huge amount of time to put together, the trust is not necessarily something that you need to build with time. I'm sorry for that answer, but it's the truth. I mean, we think it's like that, but I got the final team. I don't know. Want to know this? Players realize they will fly, as players for games after I submit the list. I'm saying it's like maybe a month before or 3 weeks before. You just realize it. And what I'm saying is, there's a lot of things that you can create in terms of trust if you go like not just like having people living together for big period. Actually, I mean the trust is built on that period, but also also differences and stuff. Trust we build it in a program called I Trust You, which is a huge program, and I will say that's the base of the program, and what those little we use in the beginning then creates this amazing so yeah, I was just saying like that concepts of inorganic and using spots, and it's where we build the system, which is using the subtle thing, not the normal things that people used to focus on. When I talk about subtle things, I'm not just talking about like subtle things on Ultimate, like be spread or be close or be tight. Some other small little things that definitely are pointing on those little directions where you not just pairs like just like positions.
What was that? Lost that last bit.
Yeah, not just like it's not just tuning the only thing who matters. It's a lot of other subtle things that we take care of, like every single player, every single brain, every single soul of those players matters and a lot.
Yeah, and this is I mean, you say that you keep some secrets, but
I will tell maybe all of them.
Yeah. Like this is something I think I've heard in a great interview with you that Melissa Whitmer put together for Ultimate Skills Project, Ultimate Classroom, something like that, and part of the UAP perhaps, and yeah, like it's the trust that you have for each other and building those connections and everything you just explained, like is a great demonstration of like the mental understanding you have for the game and that you've kind of given to all your players, treating them with so much trust and recognize that they're humans as well, right? So they have everybody in the world is fighting a battle, right? That nobody else knows about, or at least strangers don't know what battle they're fighting, and everyone in the world is fighting a battle. And so I think I took one of the things that like an idea from you and when I was coaching, and a couple of years ago that season, and I said to the players, when you're on the field, like you have to win that internal battle, and you have to understand everyone else is having their own internal battles, and you have to do everything you can to try and help them win their internal battles as well. And if everybody kind of like does that, and then that's going to create a really positive kind of atmosphere. Is that kind of related to the stuff that you've been saying, or have I completely misunderstood it?
You need to. This is fantastic question, and actually you made that question, and Joe Mama exactly asked exactly the same question.
Oh, really? I haven't read it.
I mean, from a different way. Just asking. I don't know. Asking who was the biggest USA matchup you were most worried about in this game. I don't have another answer than that's the highest matchup you have ever in a game as a player or as a coach yourself. But that internal battle is the most important battle you have to figure out outside. I don't want to anticipate because there's a couple games. No, this is a fantastic game. If you don't know, I'm sorry. I'm going to spoil it a little bit. We won. But it's pretty good to see some of the games we lost. Also, and when I see the games we lost, I can see how I lost that battle, and I can say me and all these teams in this battle. What was this internal battle? It's a pretty good question. Then I can show you on the screen. I promise I can show you on the screen, like no doubt. And this battle was in this game, like in the middle of this game was a battle, internal battle, and you can see in the screen how we found a way to win that internal battle. I'm not talking about matchups. I'm not talking about forehand and backhand. I'm talking about battle. We set up every one of us set up a battle, and there's a lot of different places where I can show to you. I can show it my battle. I actually have a particular like in the universe point. I can show it. Everyone exactly the battle that we were playing on this game.
Yeah,
you need to be connected until the end. By the way.
Yeah. There's some close calls later on in the game, and I went to Vancouver in 2008, and I seem to remember GB playing against Colombia then, and maybe it's just because I was around all the GB lot, but there was, I think the spirit then of Colombia was bad, right? Considered bad, at least from external. Could be misunderstood, new country on the scene. Maybe like people are misinterpreting, but then it could also have just been bad. It's many years ago, so my memory isn't like crystal clear about whether whether it was really good or really bad. But I do know that since you've been heavily involved, as far as I know, it's been like a massive turnaround, and that's huge credit to all your work, because I was chatting to Colombian friend Juan Amado. He did some work terminally in discs with me, teaching in Balkans, and yeah, he said like the spirit was really 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 bad in Colombia, but like in all the Colombian teams that you've coached, it looks really good to me, just as my kind of like perspective as an observer. It's impressive, and listening to you talk about it is inspirational.
I need to say something for that, which is pretty interesting. In my perspective, I was in the beginning. I need to accept I was kind of in the same page of, okay, we got a bad spirit, but I realized something, and I will let you know when. When we beat, I can say this in public. When we get in second place in London. Remember one guy, I don't want to say so, but someone told us like they were really worried about our participation in World Games because all the Colombian teams had bad spirit and whatever. That was the image we got in the World. And that, I need to say I was worried about it. Like and it's just not one team. It was like more like up and down thing. Sometimes it was like junior team beat Worlds at 2010 plus a game.
Sorry, what was that?
Our junior team in Germany beat Worlds. We won at Worlds with the girls and one spirit.
Nice.
But then we got some bad spirits around like 2006. We were like almost the last ones. I start to dig. What's going on? Are we really bad spirit? Are we cheating? I mean, is it any Colombian player who wanted? I don't think so. I know the people, And actually, in this game, people from that team who play there. So the good thing is, I realized I found what was the thing that put us in that level. I'm not saying that this is gonna, for sure that's gonna give us, a new credit, and now we are the best player ever. It depends on who apply what we realized in this team called War Games, and it was exactly what I said. That tremendous process called I Trust You. I realized our community had this idea on brains. This is going to take 2 minutes. We got this idea on a head. We are bad spirit. It was, like, we're not bad spirit. People never said we're bad spirit. People said we're so emotional. We react pretty high. And I realized, well, but this is not part of the rules of the ultimate, And then I speak more, and I realized it's more than we were explosive or anything like that. It's Colombian and Latin American people was more, say, people don't trust each other. People don't trust each other in our country. Okay. No, because of our past. You can see it on Netflix. Because of our past and, all of these drug things around our country in the past, that creates a kind of environment in Colombia of not trust. I mean, if you're walking on the street and you see someone behind you, you start to run, Like, it's just like, say it's subconscious, You just feel weird. You don't feel, because it's on your brain. It's not your, it's not your decision. When you're playing Ultimate and someone make a call, it's a reaction. It's a subconscious reaction. Your brain said, they want to take advantage. Just your brain. It's not your, I mean, maybe you trust on them, but there's like something instinct. And we realized that was the worst thing ever in Ultimate. Because every single call, the reaction inside of each player was like, no, it's not true. Like they just got that feeling. In that point, it's pretty hard if you want to get a successful conversation. And I want to say something. This is not just Colombian. Watch a lot of, say, semifinals and finals on YouTube. U.S. teams, Canadian teams, Japanese teams, actually. It is the same behavior. What is it? When the call is made, you're feeling inside, right at that moment. Are you really feeling that this is just a game? Or just feeling my life? Oh, it's a universe point, whatever. What you gonna do on that point? You're gonna, no matter what, or you're just gonna hold it. So,
are you gonna do what no matter what?
I mean, are you gonna do whatever takes, or are you just gonna listen to yourself and realize, oh God, maybe it's just an instinct. I'm just feel angry or just feel fear or whatever. And then that's part of the internal battle. Internal battle is also a battle. So seeing that thing in your brain, this thing in your mind, gonna give you possibility to work with it. We build a program starting from that point. It was 1 year, day by day, week by week, hour by hour, training by training, introducing how we gonna fight inside. Not let those feelings, the things that we are thinking, thoughts, don't let those things harass me. I needed to get position on myself. That's the concept I try. Get tons of exercises, on-field exercises, like, drills, basically. And it's fantastic. It will take more than 2 hours, but I'm going to keep showing during the game some of these little things that we build in terms of trust each other, but also in terms of trust. In not trust ourselves, like trying to find who we are in the middle of a game. It's just like playing automatically. We need to figure out who we are.
Cool.
Thank you for that. That's
say again. That last one.
But just saying thank you because it's a fantastic possibility to to talk to the people about this. That people usually don't want to listen about this. They usually just want to see a play. Yeah,
no. I'm trying to do like visual analysis for people who are watching the footage, but it's great hearing you talk about these things. Like I say, I've heard I've heard you speaking in Spanish about this basically with subtitles, and I absolutely love it. And it it kind of changed the way that I view the game. Listen to you talking about it. If anyone in the chat wants to ask you more questions to kind of lead you in directions beyond kind of what you're saying, then by all means do. I'm trying to, it's like sometimes your microphone's cutting out, so I'm asking to repeat like a word or two. But I think the almost all of it is kind of getting through. Just talking about this play here. immediate like slight overcommittal on running down the pool, so a very quick give go, gets in a very good position. I think there's a switch down here. Yeah, there we go. There's a switch. It covers that under very well, but then there's a free cut coming up the line, and then pass across into the middle, moving the disc very quickly. Like, it's great that there's that much space in the middle here, and that's thanks to these players clearing out wide. We've been analysing fruit versus salad spills, and this is something that, you know, the players didn't do, is kind of like keep that width so that you have this kind of like you know, overall like shape like this, right, rather than like that. Yeah, it's a big difference. I should definitely have done that second circle in a different color. So it's good to like have a, if you draw like shape around all your players, to have it like this, rather than a lot of teams will have a big focus on downfield and just have that over focus on the kind of area in front of the disc, especially when it's on the sideline. So then loads of space in the middle to get that pass, just like the video we released last week, actually, Noah's analysis. Check it out on the Felix Ultimate YouTube if you haven't seen it. We do a little diagram about that. It talks about hex as well. Yeah, we've been talking a bit about hex, and it's interesting hearing you say that like Colombia are basically. Wait, would you say what Colombia's playing is similar enough to hex that you can call it hex, but you started playing it before you knew what hex was?
Actually, I will say that there's if you ask me any kind of a system enough for the way we play.
Say again, any kind of system, what?
If we have to on a system, what kind of a system would be? I will say that's the more close possible system in terms of what, you know, and I will say it describes perfect way we play. Yeah, it's not even, I mean, the system. That's what I'm saying. We collect. Actually, if you see it, and you have more experience about this, sometimes there's a couple teams that they think they're playing on a vertical stack. It's not. I mean, even if they set up in a vertical stack, they don't even play that shape.
Yeah.
So it's more than the shape. But I'm saying, yeah, the concepts we build, that game system you work pretty hard, and it's pretty amazing because it's really connected.
Yeah. So you said if you were to add any more structure to the system, then you just kind of look to hex because it's very much in the style that you play already. I can relate to that. I've often like I say often. Sometimes I've entered like a team that hasn't been playing with any system at all. There's actually in South Africa, and yeah, the team in the townships that have been playing without any kind of structure or system, but they had this like flowing offense already, and so I didn't like be like, right, here's a hexagon shape. I was like, okay, now think a bit about like spacing in between your players and trying to keep that spacing relatively like similar, so that you kind of got your players kind of dotted out around the place, whilst being connected. And then, you know, it showed like how triangles can work, and then how like if you add another person, you got like a rhombus kind of thing going on, without making it kind of too rigid. And it was basically like giving a few guidelines, a few principles here and there, which would subtly then encourage them to then actually, like it would generate like better flow. They would have more sustainable kind of options and everything like that. So it's quite interesting. I see a lot of teams, you know, they'll be like, right, we're going to start playing league now. You know, we're a recreational team. We're going to start playing league. So we need to like, you know, play a system with rules, you know, and then suddenly everyone that's been running around, you know, building up connections, playing organically, now suddenly it's like, right, now you all have to stand here, one person cuts, second person cuts, and it takes so much away from what they're already doing. You know, in my opinion, it like limits a lot of the potential of the team, with the, I guess, the sacrifice or sacrificing that, because it adds just a bit more like simplicity. So then there's less confusion about, you know, where where you should cut, when you should cut, and that kind of stuff. But it's a high price to pay, I think. Taking away so much freedom of like movement in order to have the game a little bit simpler. And I teach beginners in a very organic style, and we only introduce any kind of like talk of proper shape or structure after about 5 weeks when I'm teaching university beginners.
100% agree with you, and that's what I'm saying. I think this example is not pretty good, but imagine, Mauricio, seem to say that principles are more important than the shape. Can you share what some of those principles are? Felix, moving this quickly. Okay, got it. Thank you. That's a fantastic question. I'll share some. Definitely. Actually, I want to first put an example. It's maybe not the best example, but just imagine what's in the head of a kid for to start to walk. Or I'm on a baby. He's just trying to, do one step. Not like he's not thinking about a jump, not thinking about or go to the office. Just thinking how to get up, then it's trying to put one to, stand.
I can't hear that. You'll have to repeat that last bit.
Sorry. I'll try to repeat. How's that? Okay.
Sounds okay.
So I was saying, in the brain of a baby, he first wants to just stand up, then one step. It's not trying to, not in his brain. I'm saying this is because every single concept you are creating, at the end, view this huge system. Same thing when you're driving. Remember the time you start to learn how to drive? In Colombia, we have mechanic cars. So when you're driving and you're passing someone in a high-speed highway, you need to realize how many things are in your brain. Like you're putting the clutch, or just making whatever, looking in the mirror. At the same time, you're turning off the radio. You can do tons of things. It's just like you start to integrate all of those things, and then you drive perfect. So what I'm saying is every single concept counts, and the way you work and you create those concepts are fantastic. And I was ready to say that one of the main concepts was talking about geometrics, remember? So I want to give an answer for Ravi and also connect it with the geometrics in what we did on the tab. You have that footage, so you can discuss it later then. You're the only one in the world who have that. Like, I don't remember what part you can tell, like players can tell. And we were, doing a good job, but we were not close enough to the US in that game. And we played before early in the tournament, we played them and they crossed us. I just called it timeout, or maybe it wasn't a half. So like, okay, we're going to do new D system. I was like, are you talking about? Like, yeah, we're going to go. I want to say that I have this idea in the middle of a game. But first of all, don't think that that's the main ever system. I just created in the middle of a game, so it can be anything. It just can be an idea. I created because of the things that I was watching in the game. It was happening. I told them, okay, we're going to do, how many people we are? 7? Okay, we're going to do a triangle and a square. We're going to do a triangle and a square. And I just put the rules. Whereas here, it's like the triangle is going to be, so if we're going 4 and 3, now it's a mix. We're going to go triangle if we're 3 men, and so we're going to do the triangle if we're 4 men. Now you understand it. And we do that. You can tell. And that gave us the victory of that game and part of this game. So once you see it, that was smart.
Yeah, it was just as you were saying it, so it was like, okay. You could probably hit refresh on your stream and catch up a few seconds. I think you're probably like 8 seconds behind. You could be like 3 seconds behind.
No.
So would it be like would it always be gender divided with the 3 and 4 triangle square?
it was like if we were playing with 3 men, the men will go on a triangle, and if we were men, they were with 4 men on the square.
Yeah, yeah.
So in opposite, and way we did that was for D. So the way we did it, it was using this shape to give the players concepts, where to be, where to go, somewhere. Like all of these concepts once. They don't have to be thinking about, oh, I'm the second of a stack, so I had to go left, and then if I don't get it, then the next person is gonna. It's really complicated. That's opposite to life. Life is not. You have a tree in the middle of a house, then you can find the seal. No, it's opposite. Like subtle things create concrete things. So we just put little bases. People adjust to those differences, and we can just create that system. So that example of that game of geometrics, perfect, and creates the best system ever. I could explain more than that if I have a blackboard how that thing works, like where the box of where went the triangle. Answering to Ravi, we have a lot of concepts like this. Some of them were like train it. Some of the concepts were in the middle of a game. Example, we create one concept right now. Was like the say place in the find the place on the or more than find, create inside of a game a power. The most power is on a cut.
The most power is what on the cut?
Ace. Just imagine an X, like the bricks X.
Yeah.
Keep that X inside of a game. Like, okay, this is the place I want to be. Splitting my cut. So create some references of like where is that X, that spot. Finding that spot that was more important than any other thing. Like this had a lot of concepts, like how to clear, for example, how to the continuation system. This is not pretty word games, but because some of the players already got it. For example, if I ask to the people in the chat, and if it's a player that I coach, don't do it. What do you think will be best way? Okay, I'm gonna ask it differently. I have a disc on differently. You're gonna cut. That's the best way I can ask it. If I gonna cut, who are you cutting? Who are you cutting to? For example, the disc. Laura have a disc. Who are you gonna cut to? That's a pretty good question. Simple. Not tricky. Okay, I know it's gonna be kind of a delay. I'm gonna give some seconds. That kind of a questions we made each other. Please, if someone wants to answer, if you're gonna cut, to who are you cutting? That's a pretty good question. And that kind of a concept, we every time ask ourselves, where to go, somewhere, how to clear, like having these different things in your head. First of all, it's easier. Second, if you do it, you're gonna be creating that environment. So we're going to cut to. Thank you, because of my grammar is not that good. I tried to make it. Guess I said either cutting deep, away from Osuna or in towards her. That's perfect. That's perfect answer. For example, in Revolution concept, and you can see it every single game, you don't cut to the disc here. But we don't cut the guy with the disc. Cut next person. That's one of the main clues that makes our game so fast. Because when I'm starting my cut, I'm not cutting to the disc. I'm cutting to the next person. The next person is cutting to the next person. Next person is cutting to the next person. It looks like choppy. I was right. So that's one of the main concepts. Trying to cut next person, not to the person with the disc. I don't know if that was clear. So, like trying to introduce one of the concepts. I'm gonna reset my audio anyways. I want to just make sure that thing was. It looks like not. Okay.
So you were saying it's good to thanks to Jack for subscribing. You're saying the focus is on cutting for the continuation, cutting for like the next cut rather than the current person with the disc, the next one. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts for that, which then gets me thinking about differences between hex and vert, gets me thinking about spacing between players, and if you keep that spacing roughly equal, then when one player catches a disc, then they'll have like similar field in front of them or similar shape around them, and so therefore like the continuation is already kind of set up. Like if you like dump swing, then in vert you're like cutting into those positions, whereas in hex you're kind of already in good positions to just like, if there's no defenders, you could just pass the disc around, bam, 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 and everyone's in perfectly good continuation positions. Now, obviously, that's in reality, people are marked. So, but that doesn't mean that it's not good to kind of like have people occupying those spaces, because even though say there's like an ideal place for the continuation, and in hex someone stood there on offense. Yeah, if their defender is slightly off them, if they can cut in any direction, then there should be space to kind of get them a quick pass. Okay, so it'll be like slightly out of the ideal place for the continuation, right? But if they clear out of that space, yeah, then suddenly there's a space, and the center of that space is the ideal place for the continuation. And because of the shape, then you've got like 2 or maybe 3 people who are connected to that space, who are like a good distance away from it, as in like not too far, not too close. So it's a very different approach to the whole idea of offense and continuation and everything. When you switch from like a structured, this is where the space is kind of offense, into a more kind of organic, think about the next pass, think about the spacing kind of offense.
And it doesn't usually happen that the things you draw in the blackboard works in the reality. Yeah. You're caught in, and there's 20 people inside, plus the game advisors. What I'm saying is, you can definitely, and it's kind of not clear, maybe because I said cut into the next person, but yeah, it's more predict next flow. So just imagine, if I have in my mind, I need to be in a powerful spot to receive. It means it has to be clear, it has to be creating space. I need to get advantage of what I want to do. It doesn't matter if it's front, back, because dump swing is perfect. It doesn't mean it has to be forward. And if I'm thinking all of these things, and I watch one of my players receive, and I see one of my players cutting, I can start my cut, to that person who will receive in that, possible place. So I start to move for that. It means clear out, get in the spot that I want to be, start my cut, with some hips, with some space, and then when I'm doing that, my player is receiving, and I'm in a perfect position to get risk. That's a different way to think about the game. So that makes the game pretty fluid, pretty, like Bruce Lee said, like the water. So going in the flow, which is more organic, which is more easy, and it's more unpredictable. If you're setting up in a stack, I'm not saying you cannot play on a stack. It depends how you play the stack, because we did a stack in the end zone with the different rules. Like not just like, okay, if you dump swing it, the last person to cut, that's pretty obvious. You easily can stop it as a defender. So yeah, so basically those little things, those little concepts to create a system are fundamental. Creating a tactics and creating a strategy, what I'm saying is you have 2 different paths. You can do it by 2 different ways. Like normal way, which is, set up a shape and try to move it. I don't think that's a really smart idea in terms like having other tools. In my understood of a thing is you need to create more subtle things, and those subtle things will be connected. Those connections are going to create that big form that you want to spread on your team, and then you can see it, and you say, like, now you see we're doing a X, or we're doing a, I don't know, new different shape of triangles and squares, or fractal, or you can say, I don't know, circle. I remember the first ever system I teach was circle. It was a circle. Literally, it was a circle. I'm talking about.
Really?
It was 16 years ago. I'm sorry. It was a circle on the middle of a field. Like, everyone get into the middle of a field in a circle, and whoever can cut. Seriously, that was the first revolution, and it works. At some point, it works. I mean, you can do something better than me, but that's topologic forms. If you see topologic forms like this circle, and then you see the other different topologic forms, then you can use those concepts. So you can use live concepts, you can use geometrics. That's why the system you're sharing to the world is so solid, because it's more subtle. You're not teaching us. We talked about that before. You're not teaching, like the normal way, which is like, this is the system. This is the only place you can go. This is the place you cannot go. It's more than that. It's concepts. So I think that's a very different way to say.
Yeah, I'm just noticing the defense played by the women here, with basically it's basically the triangle that you were talking about.
I was going to try to catch it here.
Like there's a deep cut, and there's just an instant kind of switch, and they're all very comfortable. Like, they kind of know that. I think they know that they're marking 3 players, and there's 3 of them, and so they're just aware. Okay. They're aware of all those like 5-6 players.
Okay, I'm gonna explain it here. It's pretty good that you found it. You're smart though. So now you can see, watch the girls first of all. You see, there's one girl. So how many girls are there? 3 of them.
Yeah.
Gina, Capi, and Aleja. So what Gina and Capi, right, Aleja and Capi are doing right there. You can stop it close there. I'm sorry, like all of these, you're just going back and forth. Yeah. You can see Capi and Aleja like up there, like in the handler's space.
Yeah, towards the desk.
And towards, like, close up there, and then Gina is behind, like a little bit back. So they're doing a perfect triangle every time. Mm-hmm. Basically, what they're doing is putting the girls inside of a triangle.
Yeah, surrounding them.
They're surrounding 3 girls on a triangle.
Yeah.
All the time. So they're fronting them. So Gina's switching, then switches with Aleja, then switches with Happy, and all the time, girls stay inside of that triangle.
Yeah. Yeah, this reminds me. I think we were talking about other games and how other games can relate to, more kind of like core strategies in any kind of team sport. And there's a board game I play called Go, which is also known as the surrounding game, and it's an absolutely fantastic game. You can read about it. You can read about Google's artificial intelligence finally kind of getting the hang of it in 2015. But that's all about surrounding, and that's very kind of like there's very very basic kind of. It's just a very basic strategical approach.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, there's a lot of. I'm not using that anymore. If you want to play against us and you're trying to figure it out, you can do it, but we're not using it. But what I'm saying is, it's just a system. I can say in backend or whatever. Just trying to say it's more than just smart, anyways. But it's more than if it's or vertical or whatever, or if it's a zone. It's like Japanese. Remember that? Like how long time they get to finally kind of realize what we're Japanese doing on a D. It's insane. They were just walking, almost jogging, and they were stopping everyone for the break. That weird zone. It was not the zone because people was drawing it, and it's like, I don't understand it. How they do it is exactly the same zone we got. And the first time I just get into and I face that zone, I face it saying, it's not about the shape. It's about the concept. You easily can realize what the Japanese are doing when you just see the concepts they're using it. For example, don't go to the thrower. Ever, ever. Go everywhere else and then get the thrower, because the thrower cannot throw anyone. They got the disc. And if they got, so it's easy. So if the thrower is alone, then you have 7 seconds, 6. You can stop everyone. Give some extra seconds to the thrower, no matter. And you position your D, and then you just start out. It's insane, but just that concept, just not going right away to the thrower, just go somewhere else. We call that future. Go to the future, and stop the future, and go to the thrower. That's it. And then you can build any zone like this, and it's like, then you
can actually see it here just very quickly. Just that exact point you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so she, I think that is that Ospina?
Ospina, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and so she's kind of marking here, and she sees this dump pass goes, and she's immediately right. What's the future? It's the swing, you know. So then her instinct isn't to follow her person, is to go cover the swing, and she kind of wants to switch. She kind of wants to switch. She's like, I got this, and then he's like, no, it's okay, I got it. So then she's out of position, but she's got
exactly
all the help, you know, because they've got the lady triangle going on.
Exactly, good example. And I mean, we use, for example, that concept into the future. So far, we have talked about 3 of the concepts. I mean, really, it's just the base of a concept. I mean, to build those concepts, it's not just like, okay, let's do it. I mean, just go to the field and try to do it. We build that with a lot of different mechanics, drills. So, big thing here is, if you see, we have in a lot of the triangle and square thing, for example. Look into the future, the timing thing, cut into the, the next person, to the future, let's say, like predicting. All of these little concepts create this big environment. So you will say, we should train. Should we train systems? Kind of a drill we should create. And I was saying, we got these internal battles. The thing is, never train it. When you are in the game, never usually train your battles. You just train, throws, mechanics. You don't. Actually, in that point, it's pretty good to see that, for example, we have a mismatch right there.
Yeah,
with Nico and Santi with
Cartagena just marks Jimmy Mickle for like good amount of time here. Like, Mickle goes deep. Because there's been like an attempt at a poach, right? A poach without a switch, which is kind of dangerous, Like, I'd quite like this player to see that his mark's been taken, and then just immediately go deep. But like I think he got a D, or one of his teammates got a D on something very similar earlier where he didn't actually run away. So then Mickle's gone deep. Mickle's gone, and Cartagena's seen it on the far side over here very early, and for this entire duration here, for the next few passes, it's actually Cartagena covering Jimmy Mickle in all the deep space.
Exactly, because none of these guys used to play mixed. What means that? Not that you take the decision to make a throw in less than a third of a second. I mean, if you're gonna make a hug, you take that decision in less than a third of a second. Like, if you don't throw it, then you fake, or you do, or you make a bad throw. So basically, when I don't remember who was, Mikkel started to go deep, and someone get the disc and watch, and that's 2 seconds before when Mikkel is just going out of poach. The person who have the disc and is trying to make the hook happen in the head, just see blue in the back. Then it's not seeing, this is Jimmy Mickle and it's playing against China. I think Jimmy Mickle is gonna make it if he jumps against China. Blah, 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 blah. Got it? It's just like, get to this. It's gonna jacket and see. It's a blue in the back. No matter if it's N or if it's whoever. That thing is pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, and it almost actually the other end of the mismatch, or the gender mismatch, let's say, is here, and it's almost layout D.
Yeah,
From
exactly. We're not like, oh, we need to figure it out. I mean, if we are like opposite gender, it's okay. I mean, our system can control it. We're still inside of a system. Actually, yeah, exactly. Dylan is like, what the hell?
yeah, for ages. Like Dylan sees it early and he's like, hey, wait a minute.
What are you talking about? You know, like, actually, what I'm saying is, there's a lot of, like, if we were playing with a, say, really mixed people who play in mixed every time will be different, because people who play mixed, they're more used to, you know, just those kind of a mismatch and stuff. So they don't, like, ultimate player, like in a men's team or in a women's team, get the disc and watch. It's just a color, you know, like a second, less than a second. Like I can try and not like it's not a lot of thinking. But even that pass was the score, and it was even 8. You know, it was like 4-second thinking throw.
Yeah.
So that was what I was trying to say. Like we practice every single. Okay, this is like one of the more the most say the thing that worry, like I don't know how to even say it in English. But the thing that I was more worried about when I started to see this kind of a behavior of Ultimate was, so if you got, like, in the middle of a game, you have a lot of, you know, situations. Let's say if you want to be perfect on a game, that's that was one of our, you know, challenge to be, like, defeated, like no turnovers, perfect game. You want to be like that, you need to be ready to do whatever you had to do in a game. Like you need to throw perfect, catch perfect, perfect, everything perfect. Okay, so you will figure out that you have a weakness. You know, like maybe you are not pretty good like pivoting, or you're not pretty good jumping, or whatever. Or maybe it's because you get nervous or in a universe point, right? You know, things like that. The question is, practice that in a practice? I mean, do you really can create the environment for, you know, World Games, game against US, Universe Point? You can create that environment, you know, on your practice? That's a pretty interesting question. Why? Because if you cannot create that thing, then what are you doing in practice, though? Like, why you go to practice? I mean, if you cannot solve the problem,
there's two sides to this. It is interesting. I think what you're saying is very valid. You know, in the you know, to be able to perform in a certain atmosphere in a certain environment, then the best thing you can do is to recreate that environment. You know, as they say, perfect practice makes perfect, right?
Exactly.
But I've played on the team. I've had an experience before where, you know, we were trying to create this, you know, pressure that we would experience, and it's quite stressful. And something I realized is that when I was in those positions, you know, like, you know, semifinals, feeling the pressure, I think that the thing that was more valuable to me was actually my experience in playing in very low pressure environments, right? Because I was able to like switch my mindset into like, you know, relaxed, confident, you know, having fun, doing what I want. And for me, that kind of worked better. So I think maybe like variety is needed with training, and you need to have that, you know, as close to the situation as it's going to be in terms of external pressure and atmosphere, but then also to have like an alternative, like relaxed mindset or a relaxed way of playing that you are able to like go into, even if it's just like inside your own head, in order to put yourself at ease, get your confidence back.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that would be kind of confusing if I need to clarify a little bit. I'm just saying recreate. I'm saying it has to be stressful, for example. But what I mean is, even say the opposite. Let's go to play. It happened a lot with the, you know, pro players. Okay, we're in a, you know, scrimmage in Sunday with the family, and they just want to kill themselves. They are just so competitive. You can see that, like, when we went with Revo for Worlds and stuff, we do like volleyball game, in the pool. Like we're doing volleyball in the pool, and it was we're like World Cup of volleyball in the pool. You just dive every single point. It's just it gets so personal. What I'm saying is, a lot of the things that happened in the game, as you said, are more mental. You need to, if it's not, you cannot even state why this game happened. First of all, how we make it to be that far in the first half. Second, how they tied. Third, why they lost. First, it's so weird. And then they beat us in the final. Why this happened? If we both train so hard, if we both do our best and whatever, it's more mental. So that's what we work a lot on, a mental strength skills. But mental doesn't mean okay, our mental means like we need to make a yoga class. Mental means mental applied to the game. How to apply, how to recreate situations on a game, and then you can take the decision you want to get. Like, for example, as you said, you be cool, like just relax. You need to recreate that several times. Because if it's not, you cannot train yourself to the highest level of competition. But those little mental trainings on the fields are pretty important. I just have a remember one of the World Cups 13 years ago. I think it was Cameroon or one of these African teams. They practiced. What they did is they got the B team and put the Brazilian uniform, the players of a B team, and they match each other every day or so, every weekend or something. So basically, the top players were matching Brazil, imaginary Brazil, and beating Brazil and crushing Brazil every time. That creates them, different confidence on a game. What I'm saying is these little things are really important in terms of having success on the field. Because if it's not, you're gonna get into the field, you're gonna crush because you're nervous. You're playing against US. First time ever. I think that is the first time ever they lost the game in World.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
My numbers. I mean, I think they just every time went there and beat them, defeated. So imagine, you just step in front of them and it's like, oh, we're gonna lose though. I mean, you're gonna pick out. If you train that before, it's gonna give you some confidence. So yeah, I mean, I think this is fundamental. There's something from Rush Allen. I'm late to the party, he said. This offensive set is really interesting to me. I love how they are flows around the side, opening the unders. I swing hand doesn't mean it. Yeah, it's exactly what we were talking about. It's something that you cannot even describe, but then you realize it's more about fundamentals. That's what we were talking about during the transmission. I
just want to talk quickly about this point. Yeah, Ross is saying some good stuff. But we were lingering on that last point for a good 5 or 10 minutes, so we've moved on. He catches the pull here, and it's hard to see because the camera changes direction, but it has a player like running all the way around, like comes over here and runs around the back here. It's not really kind of like the kind of cut you would plan, and generally speaking, like getting in these tight areas, like between like the disc and the sideline, and here as well, this tight area here, like can lead to a lot of problems in offense. That's what I've kind of noticed. And so you see here, you can see coming around the back, and defender is very, very close to this release, really, like because it comes out of like the blind side as well. So there's like potential there for like that to go really bad, but then there's there's enough space and we get the disc, and then for the continuation for the next one being in this narrow space, then means that when they get it, then like this is like the most awkward place on the frisbee pitch to ever be in, right? Like because you don't have space to like clear out around the back, and it's like, oh, do I run around the so it's like super awkward. But that was created, I think, by just like going around the back. But it's tricky because when someone's just caught the pull and the stall's rising high, you want to be able to give them like an option just to get the disc out of their hands. So yeah, okay. Anyway, I just thought I'd touch a bit on the
it's a perfect example. And actually, you can see that we really trap for a while, because we didn't make what we said that we would about like these powerful plays to cut. Basically, there's like a couple like noise on that part of the pool, and that was something that USA fantastic. It was pools, they have every single pool they had was like phenomenal. It was like right in the line, floaty, slow. That was part of their strategy.
Yeah.
For example, that cut, you can see that was a really good cut from Chaco. Because he go and create data space. He makes sure he create data space and then get it.
Yeah.
That powerful point of cut.
And he's looking as well. He's looking around. So if anyone else is going into that space, he can see. And then he's like, no. And so then he's like, just hard change of direction. Defender slips. And like it's easy to underestimate the defense by the USA. Like I've played World Championships, and you're up against tough competition. And then you play against like USA, and suddenly you just feel this pressure that you haven't felt before. And it's things like this over here. I think this is Nick Stewart over here, yeah. And he switches like that, but then he doesn't immediately run straight towards his person. He checks the disc, yeah. So then when considering that around, now suddenly it's like potentially a Callahan. Whilst also not giving up anything else, if he'd have like sprinted to like the person, then they could have gone deep, they could have gone up the line, but instead there's this incredibly like balanced defense. You see, like the footwork here is like he's ready to react just at the right moment. Yeah, just as the thrower's pivoting out, he's getting into this power position so he can react to what the cutter's doing and go wherever he needs to. And so yeah, just making it as hard as possible in really subtle ways that just add up. Like just at this moment, just closing up and then getting ready again. Yeah, the amount of pressure just put on by the individual defense, it's hard to kind of like really see it without going through the footage like this with a fine tooth comb.
Mm-hmm.
And then this catch is unfortunate, isn't it? Like jumps, probably catches it off the ground. Probably, it's hard to tell. It's within the frames, and then it looks like that's just over the line, out of bounds by touching the disc out of bounds first. And you can see, I mean, you might want to talk about Spirit. He stands up. This is, I'm not sure who is this. 52.
Choco. That's Mauricio Martinez.
Choco, yeah. So he stands up. He's kind of looking at the game advisor. The game advisor doesn't give an opinion. I'm not sure they're supposed to give an opinion.
Kind of. His hand is kind of ready, but yeah, it's trying to not to be. Okay, he's trying to say like it's out.
Yeah.
It's good to see. That, that's a pretty close. It's a pretty close, and what happened then? It's okay. Yeah, he's saying like, you talk first, and you figure out yourself. That's remember what I was saying about the battle? Like, this was one of the main battles we had to, we have to, like that kind of a thing. Like, okay, what's gonna happen when the calls? And we were up by far. Then they started tied. You don't want to give that this. That's a really hard battle. And what I'm saying the battle is because we talk each other and say, okay, main important thing is to on our concept called I trust you. The I trust you concept is okay. We cannot play either ultimate if we're not trusting each other. When we're saying trusting each other, it means trusting ourselves as a teammates, but also trusting other player you are playing with. If they're saying it's out or in, if you have game advisors, you need to trust them. It's complicated, and I really don't like when you ask the game advisors. It happened several times playing in other teams that you add the game advisor, and the game advisor is like, "Yeah, you're right, it's in," and then the other player's like, "Well, so no, out." But like, why you ask to someone else if you're not going to trust them?
Yeah.
Well, one of the main exercises we made inside our team. You can see there's a lot of people. We were more than 14, by the way, because all the people in the process, fine. That's beautiful. And I'm so glad and I'm so thankful with all of those players who went there and, part in the team. It was complicated because we cannot be outside of a tent, because we cannot have, not able to have, 25 around the field. And so all of them has to be in the tent and then just 2 persons out.
Right, okay.
Rotating. That was like as assistant coaches, and they were rotating. That was fantastic. But I was saying we train it. I'm actually remember we got.
Well, you trained having 25 people and only 2 of them are allowed.
No. I was saying we train the spirit. We play some of the tournaments. I remember the TEP was one of it. We said like, okay, let's do this in this tournament. They're not gonna contest any call.
Yeah.
Not even if everyone knows it, everyone see it, and we all are 100% sure. Just as this is not the way you had to play. I'm not saying play like this. I'm saying as a training, it's fantastic. You already know that any single call you have to accept it. That changed your brain. We played a full tournament and we won it. Just accepting every single call. Actually, we said, okay, our answer is not just going to be test. It will be I trust you, because training was feel that make sure you feel the other person is not cheating, is not trying to trap you.
Yeah.
Someone make a call. First of all, ask him, hey, do you see? And then listen to him. Then make sure create that feeling that you trust that person.
Yeah, brilliant.
For most of the time was super out, for example. Super out. Everyone see it. Even game advisors, everyone. And the person, I'm in. I trust you.
Yeah, that's it. But it has such a great effect because it gives them responsibility as well. Then suddenly they feel that trust of a human being, and so then they're like, right, okay, they trusted me, and if they did wrong, then they won't next time, because they'll know that they're responsible. Buck stops at them.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't predict it, but then that thing started happening again. There were games with 2 or 3 retracts, because it's like, da. Okay, I trust. Then you start to feel in, so I trust you. Then no, wait, retract. What? That's not even normal. That happened once in Ultimate, and after a lot of argument, a lot of point of view, that started to happen and then it's not just on you. You are creating that environment in the game. This is the environment. We trust each other, my friend. You don't depend on the other team. If you do it, the other team are going to be connected with that thing. And I think that was the most beautiful thing that we felt with USA, and I think that's why I love so much that team. USA and all of these players, of these coaches, is because I can say that we create a kind of family. After every single game we had, it was 3 of them, 4 of them. It felt like we were family. It was fantastic. It was a super spirit. You can see it. Spirit, super fun games.
Awesome, Mauricio. It's a fantastic note that I think we are going to end on actually today, because we've been streaming for over 1.5 hours now, and and we're not even halfway through the half of the footage that we have. So this gives us kind of an equal amount of stuff to talk about for Friday. Are you still free? Are you coming back on Friday to join on the stream?
Yeah, 100%. And actually, I'm so glad this is one of the best things ever. Watching this game from a different perspective. So Friday is going to be amazing because I think we can show part of the tap, and then like just at the end, and we're going to see a lot of how all of these things that.
Sorry, all of these things what?
How these things end? Like if it's going to happen. I mean, some of you already know the score, but not what happened. Because I said, I'm going to show you on the screen that what we did on the subtle things, the patterns we create were the clue of the success of this team. And it's not play, and it's not a physical thing, it's not a tactic thing, and it's not a strategy thing. It's not physical, not technical, not a strategy. So what is that?
Yeah, awesome.
Mental?
Well, that's...
We'll see it.
Say again?
Maybe mental. We will see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like your introduction about potentially being the most insightful understanding of spirit and the mental game in Ultimate Frisbee, I think has been proven to be completely justified. That's very exciting to hear that we have that to look forward to in the second half. So Mauricio will be back on Friday. In fact, if you have 20 minutes now, then have you got time to hang out with people in Discord to have a chat?
100%. And actually, I would say to everyone on the YouTube channel, I would say in Spanish, para los que están en YouTube, lo digo en español, bueno, este clip de hoy, para quienes llegaron tarde, va a estar ahí en el canal de Felix, y que también se suscriban al canal para que entonces los notifique con lo que vamos a hacer el viernes, porque el viernes continuamos. And so I was saying people that this is going to be here in the channel, and then if they subscribe to the YouTube channel, then they can join, get notification and stuff for different future videos and also for the transmission of a Friday.
Yes.
Saying everyone to hit that button.
Yes.
And yeah, for
by
sure.
all means, yeah. Subscribe to YouTube for sure. I'm going to post a link to Discord now. If you want to get involved, you can join the Discord. But if you want to get involved with a voice, then you have to be a patron. A patron is like $1 a month plus. I will run a little instruction thing talking about the patronage just after I wrap up the stream. What I'm trying to do now is grab a Discord link.
And I wanna thank everyone. Also, quiero agradecer también a todos los que se conectaron. Thanks to everyone who get into the connection and are participating, making questions, connecting with this different style. To think ultimate, to think technique, tactics, and strategy, strategic everything. And so yeah, thank you very much. And thank you Felix for this huge opportunity. Everyone to watch this epic game. And as you see, we start super far, and then they're tightened. We're getting close, and see what happens. Hey.
Awesome. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. Mauricio, I'll see you in Discord in 5 minutes.
For sure, 100%.
Everybody else, I've just put the link in there. Become a patron. I will run a couple of things just after I do the stream ended screen. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. It's fascinating listen to Mauricio talk, and I hope you've enjoyed the slightly different way I've been going through the footage and drawing arrows and everything. Thanks for getting involved in the chat. Thank you for asking questions. Spanish works, English works. Thanks again, Mauricio, for keeping your eye on the chat. I wasn't able to keep fully up with it. And before I go, I want to show the schedule that we have for the upcoming film sessions. So this is something that we're doing every Wednesday and every Friday. So if you've enjoyed this kind of like approach, then twice a week you get it. Lucky you. So here is, in a very kind of basic way, I have a schedule. It's very tiny, so I'll make it bigger. If I do this, yeah. So here's the film session schedule. We've got Mauricio Moore. We're going to be going over the I guess it's the fourth quarter of that game. It's a random photo of me. Wonder where that came from. Glad I didn't scroll any further. Might have we're gonna have Brian Jones on the 27th of May. I hope you can see this. I hope the resolution is good enough. Maybe I can try and make it bigger and then scroll. Okay, it's not the best. Yeah, so we're gonna have Brian Jones in 2 weeks' time. Next week, we're still having a vote on who we're gonna have joining next week. Russ Allen is, I think, currently leading. But if you'd like to see Ravi or Frank or anyone, then get on YouTube in the community page. There's a vote. Me and Brian, the week after that, we're going over Bravo versus Revolver. I'm going to talk to Daryl Stanley, hopefully get him into the chat. See what game he wants to go over, what game we want to go over together, what game the patrons want us to go over. Liam Grant will be back at some point to go over the Australia-Japan men's final. We have members of the Beehive here. Donesta Rue. Indeed. Rue, we need you on stream, I'm afraid. Yeah, she's coming. So yeah, we've got the Beehive, we've got the Rue tier here. These are all the patrons basically. Patreon.com/VelixUltimate. They are the reason why I can do this. If you support what I'm doing, then please consider it. And then the Swarm here, Mauricio, you're going to get added to this list. And then all these people are hanging out in Discord. I hope someone's they're loading the app. Great bunch of people, so it'd be really cool to hang out with them.
Well, they're kind of good.
And then over here we've got the archive of film sessions. So there's plenty of them. You can see them on the YouTube. You can see them on Patreon as well. Rue, can you come here, Rue? She's just hiding behind. Come on, Rue. I don't know how do I think I might have to give my cat treats in order to get her to come out. Rue, come here. She doesn't trust me. Come on, Rue. Come say hello to the stream. No, she's not. I don't want to pick her up and drag her over here. I'm going to get treats, okay? I'm going to get treats. I will be just a few seconds as I go get the treats. There we go. She can hear the treats. I think they must have special hearing for the particular type of plastic that treats are wrapped in, right? Because you can crinkle all kinds of different materials, and there won't be any movement. But then as soon as it's a packet of treats, then suddenly they know exactly what's going on. Their ears prick up. Here you go, Rue. Here you go. If you enjoy Rue, as AJ does, then there's plenty of exclusive cat content on the Patreon. If you sign up, then there's a Rue tier. All right. Oh, we've actually got a clip from. Oh, I think that's from the final actually. That clip that was played when someone becomes a patron. When someone becomes a patron that plays that clip. It's a pretty epic catch. It was in the final between these two teams. I had forgotten that it was between these two teams. Let's just get Rue standing up on the stream.
That's Santi Montana, which is an amazing player, and he did that amazing catch.
Yeah, so athletic, right? Just flying through the air. Okay, Rue, here you go. Yep, for more cat content, check out the Patreon. Thank you, Liam, for subscribing. Thank you, everyone else, for subscribing. Eugenio. And that's the only name that my system's given me. I'm constantly updating my systems. making it a better, smoother experience for everybody. But that is it for now. Come and hang out on Discord. I'll see you there in a minute, Mauricio. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I will run a little bit of a Patreon advert and sign off. So Where's that thing gone? That's not the right one. Stream starting. Okay, I'll just run this one. Yeah, I'll do the talking Patreon one. Cool. Okay. Thank you again, Mauricio, and I will see you all on Friday. If you enjoy Felix Ultimate videos, then you can find bonus content at patreon.com/FelixUltimate. This is where you can see the best clips from live streams, get early access to upcoming YouTube analysis videos, see behind the scenes material, and even commission me to analyse footage of you playing. Patronage is the way I can continue doing what I'm doing, so if you value the work, please support it today. There's even a tier if you just want to watch more videos of my cat Rue, and we all know that's the real reason you're here.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes, you're good. Yeah. Oh yeah.